Do you ever feel like it's hard to love it, to love life, to love others, to love yourself? The world is a remarkable thing, and our spiritual practice is here to help remind us of that, even in the midst of the temptation to feel otherwise. Amen? This is the last Sunday of the Advent series. It's Joy Sunday. Joy Sunday. Is there a formula for joy? Is it like a radio station that you could tune into, that if you had the knowing, you could just tune the dial or now push the buttons or speak it and arrive there? Is there a formula? I believe that we are here to experience the fullness of life. The fullness of life. And joy is part of that fullness. Yet, if we pay attention to the world around us and the world within us, frequently, we find things that sit on our joy. We find things that kind of tone it down or that tune us into a different station, a different frequency, a different radio wave. But there is a possibility, and if we can entertain this possibility today, that joy is self-existent. We can engage in a spiritual practice that will result in a vibrant life of joy. Think about the Dalai Lama for a second, right? Joyful person. Think about spiritual leaders that have so much on them with what's going on in their culture, with what's going on in their country, with what's going on in their world. Yet some of them are the most joyful beings on the planet. So there is a way, we know it is possible, to be an alive, alert, attentive, mindful human in this spiritual experience with everything that's here and be joyful. I was talking to a friend who was sharing about her bucket list and a trip to the Blue Ridge Mountains and the desire to redo or do again or do anew a trip to the Blue Ridge Mountains. And she said in her share that she wasn't fully present when she was there the last time. She loved it and it was incredible, but it was during the working days and during the times that there was stress and there was a lot going on, and she was a different person then, and she said, I wasn't really present to really soak it in. She said she didn't get to do the whole 400 miles, and I want to go back. Why does she want to go back? So she can soak it in. There is no redo button on life. You can't rewind it and go back and do something again. You can start right here and right now, right? And you can do things differently. You can have a different awareness, a different mindfulness on how you live life. And that's great for the future. We give compassion and love and grace to the past. But what is the most important is how we do the now. How we do the now. Because there will always be temptations trying to take us out of the fullness of this moment, trying to invite us into a practice where we are not soaking it in. Where we either think we don't deserve to soak it in, or we shouldn't be soaking it in, or there's not enough time to be soaking it in. But the now moment is the now moment. It's what it is. It's the one moment that we've gotten. It's all the time right here and right now. And it is to be soaked in. Life shifts. Time flies, seasons change. The people in your life today won't always be the people in your life tomorrow. The gifts of today won't necessarily be the gifts of tomorrow. The energy, the circumstances, the freedoms of today won't necessarily be the same tomorrow. And the list goes on and on. Are we soaking it in? Are we seeing what is within us and what is before us, what is in this now moment, and the beauty of it? Regardless of all the limitations and what the mind does with everything. Because when we don't see it, part of the human condition is that we go back and we go, wish I had been more awake to that. I wish I had been realizing when my body could do all that. I wish I had been realizing it and I would have done things with it, right? I wish that when my parents weren't needing care, I realized how much freedom I had. I wish that when my parents needed care, I didn't want all the freedoms that I used to have, and I was really present how sacred it was to be able to be with them in this time and care and be present, be fully present without regret, with the practice. I wish that when my kids were growing up or when my grandkids were here that I really got to have time to be with them, to focus on them, to soak it in. Well, we can wish and wish and wish and wish and wish everything about yesterday. But what we have is now. We can plan and plan and plan and plan and plan for tomorrow. But no one knows what tomorrow holds. And we have now. This is the gift. This is the present to be unwrapped for each one of us. And with mindfulness, we can make progress in unwrapping it. What we think is keeping us from showing up for the life we imagine, the life of our vision, our hearts, or our dreams, it's a moving target, friends. It moves, and it's elusive, but it moves with us until we heal it. It moves with us until we heal it. It will change form, but it will be here tomorrow unless we become determined to change our mind and change our mindset. The illusion that takes us out of the present moment, it's always available. We can always use it. It's always a temptation. It's always there. It's probably one of the reasons we got the archetype of the devil. It's like we don't want to deal with the fact that it's all in the mind. It's a lot easier to say it's a little red man in a frying pan trying to tempt me, doing things to ruin my life, than it is to be like, I carried that illusion this long, and I keep choosing it over and over. It will go by the name of many different things in a lifetime. But it's one illusion. It's one thing. It's that which takes us out of the present moment. It's that which steals joy, peace, love, hope. The key is to see the illusion, not to solve the problem or to take out the target. It will be there tomorrow. It will elude us again until we become intimate with it, until we understand it, understand fully what it steals from us and the gift it offers us. So what is it that you missed out on? What is it that you feel like you messed up? Do you know the reasons why? Do you have reasons? What are you missing out on right now that's right in front of your eyes? But still, even though it's right in front of your eyes and you're missing out on it now, you'll look back one day and say, I wasn't living it up. I wasn't fully there. I wasn't soaking it in because, and then fill in the blank with a reason. What's keeping our current state of life and living from experiencing the fullness of each moment? And here's the big question. See, we all can fill in the blanks. In fact, we could all probably be in therapy sessions for the rest of our lives or journaling till our fingers fall off, trying to get it all out. But the good news is that truth is simple. It's not always easy, but it's simple. Are we willing to throw out the because? Are we willing to throw out the whys? Throw out the XYZ, the fill in the blank, the moving target that we can't take out? Are we willing to let go of it and just call it the illusion? Are we really willing to step into our co-creative power to recognize that in each moment, everything is available to us, all wisdom, all love, all peace, all guidance, all joy, all of the spiritual qualities are available and accessible to us if we would simply step out of the illusion and step in to our creative power in a moment and say, yes, here I am fully present. I will not make a story around why I can't be fully present. See, the ego likes to think, well, it doesn't matter if I'm fully present. I'd be fully present to how awful things are right now. That's the fear of the mind. That's how the ego moves around, welcoming the present moment. But the truth is that when we are fully in the now, when we are fully in our spiritual practice, we see things differently. What the mind might argue with and call horrible or not enough or lack or problematic, the soul says, I am made for this. The spirit says this moment is uniquely and perfectly designed for me, for my growth, for my evolution, for my awakening. And the truth says there's light here. So can we take the illusion and invite it in for tea? That's a Zen practice. When it knocks on your door, invite it in like a friend, a traveler. Learn about it. Become familiar with it. Have it to tea as often as it arrives, to the point where you know it so well you would recognize it even when it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Fear not. One of my favorite scripture passages. Fear not, little flock. Fear not, little flock. For the Father gives you the kingdom, for the source gives you the substance that is needed in each now moment. And stand in the practice of affirmation, affirming, no thing can take my joy. Nothing can take my joy. Nothing is worth trading my peace. Nothing is exempt from love. Nothing is beyond hope. Faith. Standing in those affirmations. Trusting that this moment is uniquely expressing for you because you stand in your practice to claim that. With gifts and treasures that sometimes need the lens of awareness and mindfulness to be unpacked, yes. The friend that was talking about the Blue Ridge Mountain and her bucket list started sharing a story about what was happening with the mind saying, oh, but I can't do things the way I thought I would be able to do them. My life is different than I thought it would have been, so I don't know if I can still activate this bucket list, engage this vision, give it wings, because this is different and this is different. And then her spiritual practice moved in and through that mindset, lifted it up and delivered her into a place where she said, I was the one putting limits on my life, and it was up to me to take these limits off. And she did so. So that begs the question, is being present enough? Is it enough to be present? I was the one putting the limits on, and it was up to me to take the limits off. What I hear there is be flexible. Be present and be flexible. Are we going to stay rigid in our mindset, rigid in our mind's idea of what something is? Or are we going to lift it up in spirit and say, rearrange this so that I can see it rightly? Can we be flexible? It certainly does take flexibility, doesn't it? Because if we have a mindset that things need to be a certain way and go a certain way in order for us to be, fill in the blank, joyful, happy, peaceful, good luck, right? Because life doesn't always unfold the way everyone wants to orchestrate it. It doesn't. There's a quote from Eric Butterworth. He said, "We can become bitter or better as a result of our experiences." We can become bitter or better as a result of our experiences. If we choose the route of flexibility, then we recognize that we live in a moving, flexible, creative universe, and that with every now moment experience, we can step into being a part of activating the highest outcome. But when we become bitter, resentful, when we start shutting down, tuning out of the peace channel, the love channel, the joy channel, the hope channel, makes that very difficult to have it be done unto us. Because we're co-creators. So we're here to be a part of this process. It matters, Unity's principle, the law of mind action. It matters what the mind is doing. Be flexible. Be present. Be willing to see things differently with the flexibility of mind to look through what may not feel like enough into just right. One of my beloved minister friends, many of you know her now because she is one of our hosts in the live stream Zoom room, and she has been with us here in the sanctuary before, but Reverend Brenda was on a flight with her hubby, and I think there was turbulence. There might not have been turbulence, but I'm pretty sure the story was that there was a little bit of turbulence on the flight. And she looked over at her husband and with all sincerity said, "If the plane goes down today, I'm good." He didn't like it so much. He was like, no. Like, why'd you do that to me? Take it back. If the plane goes down today, I'm good. She says that in her eulogy, she wants it read, Reverend Brenda left the planet right on time. That whenever it is, it's right on time. Because she's done a lot of work with death and dying. She's done a lot of work supporting people lifting into their freedom form and in hospice. And what she has seen over and over is the torture we put ourselves through because we say that we died wrong. We're really good at finding reasons why it was wrong, why someone did it wrong or I did it wrong, I showed up wrong. They left at the wrong time, they left in the wrong way, there was something wrong about it. She's been known to say, as if there is any way we could do it wrong. Most of us cry that it's wrong. We cry for our own pain and suffering and our grief, but we also get stuck in the thought that somehow we were not enough, it was not enough, there was not enough. How do we get to these practices that are portals to peace, love, joy, hope? Be present. Be flexible. Be enough. Most of us are plagued with a serious yet undiagnosed condition. Not enoughitis. It's not enough. I'm not enough. They're not enough. I haven't done enough. I haven't accomplished enough. I am not being enough. There is not enough. The key, invite that in for tea. Say, come sit at the table with me. Let's have a chat. Let me listen for a while. Learn about it. Know it. Know it so well you would recognize it, even when it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Affirm, nothing can take my joy. Nothing is worth trading my peace. Nothing is exempt from love. Nothing is beyond hope, faith. Another beloved friend shared this statement. If I have my last breath now, it's enough. If I have my last breath now, it's enough. That she had been working with these energies her whole life of always just feeling like or noticing there is a suffering from not enough. There is a living in what's missing or lacking. But through a spiritual practice, she was able to grow that up and breathe into the now moment and heal that voice, that record, that radio station you can tune into that keeps whispering, not enough. Until finally she was able to, through the spiritual practice, say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We can always find circumstances and outside forces and claim they are preventing us from showing up fully to what's in front of us, to what's here for us. We can always find what's missing, what's lacking, what's inadequate, what's not enough, how I'm not enough, and how those things are preventing us from showing up. And that's okay to think that way and to feel that way if we want to. It's quite ordinary, it's quite common, but we are not here to be common and ordinary. We are extraordinary beings with extraordinary strength and extraordinary capabilities, and we deserve to inherit the kingdom, the queendom, the allness. And we're worthy enough not to wait for the circumstances, for what's missing to arrive. Eric Butterworth said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that matter are the things that happen in you. He said, the greatest mistake is in believing that we are only human. We are human in expression, but divine in creation and limitless in potentiality. On the human level, he said, on human levels of consciousness, one may emphasize getting and having as the prime goals. In spiritual consciousness, we seek the way of giving and being. So where does this bring us to? What happens in us is what matters. We are human and divine, limitless. And we are here to seek ways of giving and ways of being. There's a little saying around Christmas and getting older. I think as you grow older, your Christmas list gets shorter because the things you want can't be bought. It's enough. This moment is always enough. That's the gift of the Christ. That's the gift of the present moment. That's the gift that we so often forget to give around this season of the spirit of giving. That's the gift we forget to unwrap and we leave under the tree for another year, but not this year. Not this time, not this day, not this moment, not right now. Take the time. Soak it in. Give it to yourself. Let your heart be full. Let your heart be content. Who we are is not what we do, it's what we be. Be present. Be flexible. Be enough. Eric Butterworth said, "We don't change what we are, we change what we think we are." He said, self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control. These three alone lead life to sovereign power. He said, your fortune is not something to find, but to unfold. Be present. Be flexible. Be enough. Unwrap the gift of life. So let's breathe into that gift on behalf of ourselves, our community, and all sentient beings. Let's take that into a time of meditation. Just allowing the body and the mind to relax, to be calm, to soak in what is here for us today. Breathe into what you know is here for you today. We ask that we be transformed on a cellular level, that from center to circumference, we are illumined, that any attachments of the mind or the emotional patterns that lead us into that which no longer serves our being are gently and gracefully released. Sweet Spirit, sweet source of life, I trust now that there is enough, that I am enough, that it is enough for me to be so present in the present moment, that I no longer have to miss it. That I no longer have to wake up and see that I wasn't there. That it was right in front of my eyes, but I wasn't looking. That it was given to me, but I didn't unwrap it. I'm here now. I'm listening. I'm willing. I am grateful. for all the moments that came before this moment, when I didn't see or I wasn't present. I wasn't right here, right now. I enter into the spirit of forgiveness and forgiving. May the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom harmonize that past in my mind so that I may receive it as the gift that is my strength and my reminder in this now moment. On behalf of this life I live and all other sentient beings, I make a commitment to awakening, a commitment to myself, to life itself, that to the best of my ability, I am present in the here and now. For this gift, we are grateful. By the power of this practice, may all beings have freedom from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings know God as love and themselves as emanations of that love. May all beings know they are born blessed and here to be a blessing. Namaste.